good evening and welcome. I still haven't quite figured out the music level, but tonight I don't have my music or my mic muted. I streamed the entire day yesterday with my mic muted, and so everything that I was doing on stream, you can't really tell what I'm doing. It's a thing. Oh well, it happens. I'm still learning this. Um, Probably gonna look into a heads up or what that lets me know if my mic is on. I don't know if they have that or not, but it's something I need. Um, so what I was doing yesterday, I was getting hit detection on attacks up and going. And I got pretty much there. I did a little bit after the stream. Setting up the tweening. I figured out why I couldn't find some options on the objects. Tween is something I want to do a lot to help animate since I'm using such low pixel art. So to preview this, the zombie's the only one set up right now. So if I attack the zombie, he now turns gray and he squishes. I want to change that to like a red or white flash. Just something kind of quick to let you know that it was hit. And that's the goal tonight. If I finish that, I'll start working on their HP, and if I get that far, I have a lot of work to do on hitboxes. There's a limit of hitboxes on the sprite. It's kind of a limitation. So I might have to figure another way around that. I might have to use that new experimental feature that they have and see if I can make that work, where you basically extract an object out to its own scene and then you load it in. But I haven't done any research on that, so I'm not quite sure how it works. Yeah, so not all enemies have tween, so it was just giving me a warning there. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is go through all my monsters and give them the tween behavior. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to put my chat up, so... Oh, this one doesn't need that. I can actually delete that. Oh. 1 second. I gotta get my chat up. Alright. So now I'm going to test that, and they should all have that tweening behavior. Oh. Alright. So some react a little bit differently to it. So, and I know why. So they're all going back to 32 when they ease out, and it's tracking the width. But even if I do that and change it to enemy width, it'd be checking the width it has now. So I'm going to have to add the enemies a variable. I'm just going to set this to 32 here because most of them are going to be 32. I think this guy is 64. Oh, I should know these menus better by now. Object variable, there we go. No. Yeah. There he works now. Still squishes a bit much, even at 0.97. So I might have to have each enemy have its own squish variable. Okay. So I have to make sure it triggers only once, otherwise you can really shrink them. See if that works. Because this, it needs to wait, before this triggers again, this needs to wait until the tweening isn't, another tween isn't running, or actually, it can't, neither of these tweens can be running, but if I put that right here, it's just gonna stop that, and then, yeah. So I'm not sure this will fix it. Yeah. That's what I was worried would happen. Alright. So, enemies, variables, we'll add another variable. Just gonna try a few things out here because I'm not sure what will work. Yeah, and that does what I thought it would do there. Change this guy's hit squish 48. Still a little much. 50, 56 probably. Yeah, and that looks fine. Another thing I have to do is change their center points. So edit points, basically changing their origin to their center point. Yeah, running away from me. Nope, not behaviors, points. There we go. Alright. No, he's not squishing. So I might have to give them a frame or two of invincibility. Just make sure that they don't get locked like that. The attack is actually way too high. You won't be able to spam like this. At all. Alright. Save that. Next, I'm gonna try twinning the color. I've never done that before, so this is a learning experience for me, and hopefully it's somewhat easy. Probably not. Nothing's ever easy. Alright, so we're gonna be up here. I'm gonna add action. I don't want to be too bright of a red. Point two. No. So this probably isn't what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna set this up on this guy. Bounce. No. I want to repeat for each enemy. Copy. Paste. So I need to delete between when it's done. Get rid of this. We'll just grab the zombie for now. We'll build it out. Those two are going to be a little confusion. I should name that timer. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Okay. Okay, so it is sort of working. Ah! So I don't have to do anything when it's false. But I have to go in here and I'm just gonna do it on here. Effects. And delete that. Okay, so it didn't delete it. How would I return it to its original color? Okay, default color is white. So tint might want to be... Instead of tweening... Let's disable this for a second. Delete that. Having all sorts of problems with that. Okay. Yeah. Said white was its original. Alright. Wasn't quite white. Alright. There it is. It's a little dark of a red. Bring it all the way up. And we'll increase the hue there a little bit, or all the way. Hue, saturation, I'm not sure which it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if I had the problem today that my music's too loud and you can't hear me talking anyway, and I lose an entire another video. I would not be surprised about that. I might have to put audio ducking back on, but that is really distracting. And that's pretty good. Let's get this enabled for all of them. And let's get rid of the effect that I was using to test it. Okay, now they should all flash red when they're hit. Yeah, that's a little bright. So the green kind of makes it dark on him. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to do was add Knockback. But actually first I'm going to do health. It's in the same category of getting the combat to work, and it's relatively easy. So we're just going to give them variable health, and we're going to set the normal amount of health to be 1. This guy is going to have 10 health. This guy has 5. Suppose this guy has 3. 2. 1. Actually, I'm gonna switch this guy back to 1, and he's gonna be a tricky fella. This guy is a 3. This guy is a 2. A 1. Watcher is also a 1. Skeleton is a 1. Ghost is going to be a 2. And the bat is 1 as well. Some of these, like the Watcher, is a really annoying high damage thing that you gotta watch out for, so I don't want to give it too much health. There's kind of reasons why I chose. The Wisp is kind of a going to leave fire on the field a bit, which causes you to re-navigate and stuff. But yeah, so now they all have health, so now we gotta make use of that health. So we're going to So each swing might actually hit it multiple times, so I am going to have to give it an invulnerability frame so it doesn't, but we're just going to add, and I should have done this anyway, trigger once on here, because you really only want to trigger it once, and just for starting and getting things in, we are going to reduce the enemy's health. No, not add. 1. Okay. Then up here in state checks, we're going to start building this out. Add a comment above. And we're going to check to see if their health has reached 0. If they reach 0, we're going to delete them. There's other things that can be added here, like effects and stuff, but we're just getting out going. Polish comes later. I'm trying to build out the core of the gameplay and get the gameplay kind of going before I start even getting too deep into polish. Even though you could say the hit flash is a little bit of polish, but that's not tuned in either. But all right. Alright. And that should do that. Now this isn't going to work right because it's going around quite a bit. Oh no, the enemy health check actually needs to be out one. We can get rid of the on hit because this is just a state check. It's not an on hit, it's just checking for the state. The enemy on hit is checking for the state of it being hit. And this is checking for the state of it being dead. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Pretty bad. Okay. So that's working. So enemy health is working. Oh, this is exciting because this means, well, I have some bugs to work out and some collision things to do. Mainly 739 now. Mainly to change the collision hitbox for the character by overlaying stuff. It's a pain, but I'll start being able to get the enemies to move around a bit, and it'll actually start looking a little more like something. Oh, my stream is dropping a lot of frames. Okay. I'm not sure why it's doing that today. Well, I'll have to start looking into it tomorrow again. Because I am about 2/3 of the way through this. Okay. Ooh, so Knockback. Alright, so I started thinking about this last night and I've added 4 because if I just knock an enemy back by a force of finding his player, they kind of get knocked. I kind of want to just knock them back in the 4 cardinal directions, or maybe even 8 directions if they're at a slight angle, depending on where they're at. But for now, looking here how I have this set up quick. So I think I want to track which direction the player is facing. So I'm going to go back over here and give the player a variable. And I'm going to call that facing. And it's a number between 0 and 3. And we will say, let me drop this down here so I don't forget. Going clockwise from the top, 0, 1, 2, 3. All right. So he's facing down. Actually, I want to change his original state just so it's not goofy. Change that to 2, and I'm going to restart the music here. Okay. Apply that. be 3. That would be 0. Or no, that'd be 2. Oh, do I already have that in there? Control pressed 3. What variable? That's a scene variable. I'll have to look into that. I might be doubling up here. No, okay, I remember that was for facing is going to be important because the control pressed is handling that. You don't need the facing for that. So these are 2 separate things, and that's going to be used to make better movement for the WASD movements, so you can hit 2 directions at the same time. Currently, that would move you too fast, and I haven't quite done the math on that yet. I should write that down. Diagonal movement math needs to be done. Okay. In the meantime, this is 1. Okay. Now that we're changing those variables, depending on which direction, and it doesn't matter because every time you hit a button, you're going to change the direction. But even if you're not moving direction, you'll still be facing that direction. And so after the hit takes back, depending on the direction the player is facing, variable value facing, and let's just start at 0. And I only want these to trigger once for sure. Okay. So Y is up and down. And X is left and right. Left being negative, right being positive. So I'm making a little diagram here. So Y negative, Y positive, Z positive, Z negative. Okay. Do-do-do-do. So tween a position is what I would want to do. So 0 is the Y position. So tween... what do I want to call the tween? Knockback. Okay, so I'm just going to use the cardinal directions for this. And then it's going to want to know its own position. Just to know its Y position. Ease out is probably what I want. Let's do that in 0.1 seconds. And then I want to take the position I'm minusing off of it. And a full unit. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that seems to be working. They are all not going crazy. Oh, I can just call it knockback, huh? So I can have... Oh, not times 32. That should work, right? Yep, sure does. I can just call it knockback. That makes me happy. Oh, I was saying Z earlier. It's the x-axis. Alright. No, I just wrote it down as Z. This one will be minus. Alright, well, it's starting to turn into something. There's a couple sprites I have to fix because it messes with the hitboxes. They're still in the 8x8 graphics. I might take a little time to wrap that up tonight, just so I'm ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, either I'm going to... Well, we need player health. And, I'm wondering if I want to start working on enemy movement behavior or enemy spawning. Probably enemy spawning first, so things don't get confused. But to do enemy spawning, I have to start building out the core of my game, which is that this is a time trial game. So there will be a timer counting down, and you have to beat all the enemies in set amount of time. And enemies will spawn at certain times. The longer it goes, the more enemies spawn. So I will start building out spawn points tomorrow. So there'll be different areas where they can spawn. and so it's not random around the map. They'll spawn from different things. Eventually, they'll have spawning animations, but for now, I'll just blink them into existence. And there'll be likely one spawn point in front of each grave. There'll be a few per side and kind of all over the place. There'll be different kinds of spawn points, but there'll be different types of spawn points that can spawn different things depending on the round. And each round will have basically a set monsters to spawn in, but like, let's say they're zombies, they may spawn at different points that they're allowed to spawn in. And that's the goal, building out that. But I have to get the countdown timer going and start building out the kind of the core of the game now that I've got the groundwork laid out for the type of game it is. It's rough, it's dirty, but it's working, and I can get to polish later, and I'll be starting to actually prototype out the game from there, and hopefully it goes well. It's exciting. So if you stuck around for tonight, I thank you for watching, and I hope you come and check out some of the videos or the progress as I get further along. I really appreciate you. Have yourself a good night.